I decided to make a video. I wanted to do this right. I wanted to have somebody record for me so that I'm not standing in one position with the camera on a tripod. Wanted to do it a little bit better, but I want to get it out there anyways. It's some information I think is going to be a lot helpful to a lot of people, and I think I offer a unique, detailed kind of left brain perspective on these sort of things. If you've noticed, One Wheel, the factory, Future Motion, has put out a couple videos recently. Nice short videos, high production value, high quality, kind of the opposite of what this is going to be, to show you how to ride, kind of a little bit about One Wheels. So I'm going to try to take it a lot deeper and not be 60-second videos, but longer videos. And this one is going to be the first one. And I figured if you're going to start at the very beginning, let's start before you even decide to buy a One Wheel. So if you are thinking about buying a One Wheel and you come across this video on YouTube, then I'm going to give you some information and give you my perspective. And hopefully it'll help you decide whether or not you want to buy a One Wheel. And I'm recording it in grass because I think it's kind of appropriate, because if you're looking at anything else other than a One Wheel, you can't do this. If you're looking at any other sort of e-skateboard out there, you can't run around in the grass. You can't just cruise around and enjoy a little hill, climb up a steep hill, zoom down with this kind of control. Nothing else does it. One Wheel there has no peers. The closest thing maybe would be like a trotter, but there's no comparison. The people that have ridden the trotter, there's no comparison. If you can afford it, go with the One Wheel. So if you're thinking about getting some sort of electric skateboard, let's make it simple. There's only a couple reasons why you might not go with a One Wheel. One thing is if you want absolute maximum top speed. The One Wheel is not the fastest electric skateboard type thing on the planet. There are eSkates that will exceed the One Wheel's top speed, but then again, you're doing it on small wheels. So even the bigger ones with the kind of off-road wheels, you're on four wheels. They're not a 10-inch wheel like this. You're not going to have this kind of off-road ability. So basically, if you're going off-road at all, you want a One Wheel. Make it that simple. There's nothing else on the market that's going to go off-road like a One Wheel. So think of it that way. And the only other thing I can think of that may discourage people would be battery life. It does not have the highest range on the market. There are other eSkates that, right from the factory, will have a further range than a One Wheel, and there are others where you could put massive batteries on them and go even farther. Now, that's changed a lot lately because One Wheel has just come out with what they call the XR. This is the XR, and conservatively, it'll get about 18 miles. If you want to push it, you can get well into the 20s if you're being careful and not riding off-road and not riding at max speed, keeping a reasonable speed. People have gotten well over 20 miles on these things. So do you really need to go 20 miles or more on a charge? And then again, you're going to have to be on strictly pavement. The One Wheel is the only thing that's going to give you any functionality off-road. So, and then the other things I see, criticisms of the One Wheel, are what has colloquially come to be known as a nosedive. And I've had it happen. And a nosedive is purely a function of ignorance. If you know how to avoid it, it's just not going to happen. And it's going to be your very, very rare cases of catastrophic board failure or something, but that's extremely rare. So I'm wearing a helmet in this video. Quite often, if you've seen my other videos, you'll see I don't always wear a helmet, but I've been riding boards for 30 years, and I've got the bad habit of not wearing a helmet. But this is for someone who hasn't even bought a One Wheel yet, so I'm wearing a helmet, and that's obviously something you want to do when you're beginning any sort of electric skateboard riding or any vehicle that you're not comfortable with. Obviously, gear up. I'm not doing anything crazy here. There won't be any tricks in this video. This is just basically me discussing. I happen to be standing on a One Wheel while I do it. So if you're thinking about buying a One Wheel, they are very, very reliable, very well built. If you look, the first thing I would do before riding a One Wheel, or before buying a One Wheel, or considering buying a One Wheel, is join the online groups. You can join the factory's website, there's very little activity there. There's not really much going on, but you might as well. The biggest online community for One Wheels is the One Wheel Owners Group. Just type in One Wheels Owners Group on Facebook. That's the biggest. You definitely want to join that. The second biggest is called Onewheel Riders. You'll also definitely want to join that one. There's content in the one that you won't see in the other, and content in the other you won't see in the first. Definitely want those two. If you got that covered, then you're pretty much going to get a lot of Onewheel content, a lot of helpful information. Use the search function. Go ahead and ask noob questions. Most people will be helpful. And so the very next step beyond that would be within those groups, ask around and find your local owners group. As long as you're in some sort of population center, especially in the United States, there should be people within a reasonable drive of you, and there should be an owners group. For me, I live in South Florida, and it's called the Onewheel South Florida Owners Group. And so I joined that. And if you join that sort of group, then just ask somebody if they'd be willing to let you take a test ride. And then go take a test ride. It doesn't cost you anything. Maybe you can buy somebody a beer and they'll be happy to give you a loaner. If you're ever in South Florida, I've got 3 boards at least on hand at any given time. More than happy to let you take a free ride. I don't drink beer, so you don't need to buy me anything. Just come take a ride for free. So do that, check it out. It's an expensive toy. Might as well do your research, but be safe. I will, in the next video, I'm going to explain to people who have just bought a Onewheel or decided they want a Onewheel, the things to do and not to do for beginners that are going to be a lot of helpful and keep you safe. But this is just a video to kind of let you think about what am I going to choose, whether I want some sort of Evolve or boosted board or Onewheel. I've never ridden an Evolve or boosted. When I did my research, this was the obvious choice. There's nothing else that gives this kind of feeling. None of them are self-balancing. When I lean one direction, it goes. When I lean the other direction, it goes the other direction. It's obviously you have to lean forward to backward and balance yourself there. It does require some balancing, but the ability to go off-road, the ability to go on sand, gravel, grass, pretty much anywhere you want to go within reason, the Onewheel will do it. Nothing else does it like a Onewheel. So to me, there was no choice. The only thing I could imagine is if you need a unicycle or where you're strictly on pavement and you don't care about tiny rocks stopping you, that you might choose another type of board, especially if you could get it really, really cheap or something. Other than that, the Onewheel is for me was a hands down choice. It's very safe if you ride it. You read the instructions, read the things that people have written about it online, and explain how it works. It's the best built thing that I've seen. It's built like a tank. It's all high quality materials, hand built in America and California. So if this sounds like the type of thing you might like, you can check out my other videos to see me riding it, doing tricks and stuff on it. Most people don't do tricks. Most people just ride it around, use it as a commuter, cruise on the beach, use it to get around somewhere where they'd normally have to walk on a ranch or something. It's very, very quiet, almost silent. It's no emissions, obviously. It's electric. It charges pretty quickly. So if this ends up being the thing that you want, buy it, enjoy it. If you kind of want to get your feet wet and not go full out for the $1,700 XR, the used market currently, as of the time of the filming of this video, you can get a V1, which would be the very first Onewheel developed, for about $700-800. They still hold their value a lot because there's such high demand and it's a quality product. People rarely get rid of them. The next generation is called the Onewheel Plus, and you can find those for about $1,100 used. If you see one for $1,000, grab it quick. It'll be gone very quickly. If you see one for $1,100, it's going to go pretty quick. Even though they were only $1,500 new, a used one, even with a lot of miles, will probably go for about $1,100 to $1,000. A brand new XR, you're going to pay over sticker right now for them because they're a 2-month back order. But if you can wait, and if $1,700 is not a lot of money to you, I would definitely go with the XR because it has more than twice the range of the Plus. It goes about 18 to 20 miles, whereas the Plus will get you about 7 to 8 miles. So I hope this has been helpful. This is an all talking video, low production value, just an iPhone on a tripod. But if this helps you make your decision one way or the other, leave me something in the comments and let me know.